interview, but you might just get a few more nuggets than. Whereas as soon as the camera's switched on, you're like, right, I'm in interview mode.
And nobody wants to offend or say anything wrong or cause any controversy. So, I see it all the time. You ask a question hoping that they'll say something, and then you're like, oh, okay, you're just going to play it safe. That's okay.
I understand.
But especially over lockdown, though, have to say, I've been doing interviews over Zoom. Well, you and I are chatting on Zoom and right now. And it's amazing how different players have been in lockdown over Zoom. A lot more relaxed, a lot more chilled, and I totally agree with you in terms of the camera comes on and everyone goes into this. Whereas when you're at Zoom, you're at home, you're just having a chat. You sort of just a lot more relaxed.
I think there are other factors. I think sometimes if you've got a good rapport with someone, I think that obviously helps. I think if you're good at what you do, if you're a good interviewer, I think you can always try and get a decent interview. But in answer to your original question, it has changed a lot. But I think it's good because I think it does need to always keep moving. If you just did the same thing over and over, then and I think I find this with different players. Some players are better when you're doing like a walking and talking interview. Some are better sat in the studio just having a one-to-one. Some are better with someone else there if you've got a couple of people. I think you need to play to the strengths of the people that you're interviewing or that you're shooting with. That's what I've found a lot. There are some things where you're like, well, you're going to get 5 minutes with that player and you're like, well, there's no point trying to do that because you need to, the subject matter you want to get into is going to take you 8 minutes to properly get into it. So you need to have quick fire stuff.
Yeah.
You just need to be ready for anything, I think, and be able to react.
That moves us on nicely to our second game. And by the way, you got 5 points definitely for that James Corden thing. In fact, you know what? I'm going to give you a bonus point because you organised the whole thing as well. It wasn't something you participated in. So you got a bonus point for that. So you're on 6 points so far. But this next quiz is called The Wrong Answer is Right.
Yeah, I listened to this the other week. This is really hard. Right, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So you know what's coming. You've got 45 seconds on the clock. We're going to get through as many as you can. I need an incorrect answer to get a point. Okay. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Which ground do Manchester United play at?
The Etihad.
Which sport does Serena Williams play?
Golf.
Which sport do athletes use equipment such as balance beams, parallel bars, rings, and a pommel horse?
Badminton.
What shape is a traditional football pitch?
Round.
What colour are the lines painted on a pitch?
Yellow.
Name a Premier League team.
Rotherham United.
How many players make up a starting lineup?
8.
What does VAR stand for?
Vision, author, road.
What sport is played at the other Old Trafford in Manchester?
Golf.
Yes. Okay, how many did we get there? I think we got 9. You're on for a good score here, Gemma, so far. You are on for a good score. It's difficult, though, that one, isn't it?
It's really hard. That one, name a Premier League team. My friend's boyfriend's just signed for Rotherham United, so that literally just came into my head.
There you go. I know, because you're thinking and you go, no, that's a Premier League one. That's a Premier League one. Oh, dear. Yeah, good score. Well done. See, you are quick thinking. You are good at adapting to these situations. Let's move on, talking about the opportunities for women now within sports, within the job role that you do. I mean, how many women roughly are in your team that you work with sort of around the media centre now? And have you seen that rise from when you were that 15-year-old girl that turned up to do the work experience to the woman you are today? Yeah,
I wouldn't say there's not loads of us. I will say that.
Yep.
But there's a good amount of us. And I think, it's not necessarily not everyone wants to work in football. I think there is always that as well.
Yeah.
But and ironically, when I first went into the magazine, the women outnumbered the men.
Really?
Because it was the 3 guys who did the magazine in Manchester, and then there was an office in London. But in Manchester, it was 2 girls and a guy primarily. So I think opportunities. I think opportunities are there for anybody, no matter whether you're male or female. You have to make it happen. I think more and more women in football, women in sport are becoming more and more prominent, and we're getting more respect. I think people realise we know what we're talking about. I think people realise we've got our own skills that are important to the game, to the content that's produced around the game. And I just don't think it matters whether you're male or female. If you're good at your job, you should be given the opportunity to do it. But yeah, it's great. I love working with the girls. I'm really lucky, actually. I would say the one thing about United, some of my closest friends I've made at United, and it's a really good group of girls. Like, we're still all really good mates. Quite a lot of them have left me.
No.
A couple of us left. Well, to be fair, they've moved on. They've done really well at United, and then a few of them have gone to different clubs. One's at Everton, one's at Liverpool. Wasn't very happy when she told me that.
I was going to say, you still friends?
Well, yeah, one of my closest friends has gone to City.
Oh God!
So, but yeah, we have a bit of a laugh and a joke. She is a Southampton fan, so we'll let her off. But yeah, I think opportunities are there, and I think organisations like Women in Football, which I'm a big supporter of. I think they do a great job in shouting about the work that women do. I think you've probably seen there's more of us, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think in some ways you can use it to your advantage, in the sense of sometimes I find you can be in a mix zone after a match and you stand out because there might only be 2 or 3 women in there. So the players will spot you straight away.
Yeah.
And I think, you can use it to your advantage in that sense. And players or people you deal with in the industry will remember you because, they're dealing with lots of sort of male reporters or whatever a lot of the time, but they have a good interview with you or a good experience. And, I think it's improved massively.
What would you say has been your biggest challenge over the last 20 years or so?
I think just always challenging myself. I think I probably give myself the biggest challenge, to be fair. I'm probably my biggest critic. And I'm never good at resting on my laurels, which I think is a good thing, but I've tried to be better enjoying and taking pride in stuff that I've done a bit more, rather than moving straight on to the next thing and think, right, how can I top that? Sir Alex always said this, like, you'd win a trophy and then you'd be automatically thinking about the next one. I think you've also got to savour what you do, and you've got to, you've got to be proud of what you do and think, we've achieved that as a team, as in the media team. And then, then you've got to set yourself another challenge. I think that's probably been the biggest challenge, is that, like I said earlier, when you start at the top, if you like, or in your dream job, where do you go? Oh, there's loads of places you can go because you've got to keep maintaining that high level. So yeah, that's probably been the biggest challenge. Any challenges that I've faced, they're sort of non-specific. I mean, don't get me wrong, you might have a challenge every week or something might come up, but you just find a way to deal with it. I'm not a very flappable person, and I'm not that person who's trying to find someone to blame if something goes wrong. It's like, well, how can we fix it? How can we move forward?
Yeah. And
how can we do it better next time? I think you always have to have that attitude of...
You need to keep in that lounge, keep coming up with those ideas, Gemma. Look, for people that perhaps would, because this is like dream job territory for a lot of people, they would love to be able to do the things you do and around the things you do. Yes, it's absolutely hard work. There is no guarantee about that. What sort of simple skill set can people have to get started on this career path? Because as you said, the amount of people that are going to turn up at, Manchester United, these top football clubs, is small. It's very remote. Like, it doesn't just happen like that. So what can people do to get going at sort of the grassroots level of this job?
I think what I kept doing was, for me, I just kept writing. And I the way things have evolved now, whether you can have your own blog, whether you can just be recording your own podcast like this, or, just interviewing different people, no matter who it is, just on a topic, but just showcasing what you can do. Of course, when I was starting out, pretty much what I wanted to do was be a sports journalist, and there wasn't a lot of technology that we had really then. So I would just be writing constantly. And I look back now at some stuff that I've written and think, wow, that is so bad. At the time, I thought it was amazing. Even the report I wrote for the competition, it's like, could I have got any more cliches into the report if I'd have tried? But I'm proud of it because it's changed my life, and at that point it was the best work that I could have done. So I think just always try and improve yourself. It's a bit like, I've been lucky. I've written 10 books now. I've co-written 10 books now on United, and I even look back at where I started with those.
Hang on, can we just appreciate you've written 10? You just casually throw that out there. You've written 10 books. That is phenomenal.
The majority of them are sort of the kids' annual book, but I've written 2 big books, which was the Player's Diary of the 07-08 season when we won the Champions League and Premier League, which was incredible to write. And then I did a behind the scenes book with one of my colleagues, which was amazing as well. So, and that was always a dream of mine as well. I had 3 dreams. I wanted to work at United, interview Eric Cantona, and write a book on United. So I managed to do all those. But
you didn't just write a book, you published a book. You're now best friends with Eric Cantona and you're smashing life at United, and I'm sure they couldn't live without you. So I think in terms of a checkbox, I think you've surpassed anything that perhaps your childhood dreams could have been.
Yeah, definitely. So I think just have initiative. These things sound really obvious, but they're obvious because they work. Have initiative, contact people, keep in contact with people, build relationships, and just believe in yourself. Where people will give you help, take it. Don't think that you know everything, or you might know something on a certain topic or a certain way to do something. If someone can help you, grab onto that help and just honestly be nice. That's the one thing.
And I know, do you know what? A lot of people have said that in this podcast. I think sometimes people are looking for bigger things than that. People must be like, no, but there must be something else that you do to get into this. And it's like, it's not. It's networking. It's talking. It's being nice. It's showing initiative. It kind of really is just those simple tools.
And, you might start off. I remember one of the first jobs I did for MUTV was I went to do a report on a cardboard cutout of Jaap Stam at a sports shop. I did a report on a cardboard cutout. It was absolutely, I loved it. It was brilliant. And it was me voicing a news report on a VT. I'd never done that before. Yeah, it was on a cardboard cutout, but I learned a lot from doing that. And then you get to do, the shoot with James Corden, which, you have to, and even now I'll still go and do fan interviews and still do, it's not that you'd ever not, I'll only do an interview with Zlatan or I'll only interview Bruno. It's not that at all. Every part of your job, you can learn something. I think that's the key thing. I've been at United 17 years full time. I literally learn something new every day.
Never stop learning. That's a really good one, actually, isn't it? Never stop learning. I think also social media is a quite important one with this. Follow these people on Twitter. Like for people, obviously people won't know this, but I followed you, Gemma, on Twitter because I've been a United fan for years and I followed you on Twitter and I was reading all your blogs you were putting out. So when I was doing this podcast and I wanted to find loads of different women that worked in sport, I mean, it's the same for me, essentially. You and I did not know each other. And I thought, I really want to get Gemma Thompson on this podcast. And I thought, I have no idea how I do this because we didn't know each other. So it's about finding the ways to do this. I think if you want something enough, you find the way, don't you?
You do, definitely.
Just to make you go bright red.
Yeah, thank you very much for finding me on Twitter. And I honestly think just believe that anything is possible because I didn't know anyone in football. I didn't know anyone in media. Hard work is obvious. It's so important. It really is. It's the most obvious thing to say about any job, but it really is with ours, I think. And hard work is that little bit easier when you love what you do.
What does it say? Find something that you love and you never have to work a day in your life. Isn't that what they say?
So true.
I know. Okay, we are going to finish this off now. This is the last game that we are going to play. It is called How Well Do You Know Yourself?
Oh, no.
Okay, so all the answers to these questions I found on your social media. So you've posted about them. You've done everything. So hopefully...
Have I told you about my terrible memory?
We're about to find out. So we're going to do 45 seconds on the clock. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Where did you go on pre-season tour with United in 2016?
China.
Oh, well done. How old were you when you first joined United on work experience?
Oh, God, I don't know if it was 14 or 15. 15?
We'll
14.
take that. We'll take either. Who did you interview for MUTV when his book came out, Suddenly a Footballer?
My favourite one.
You took a photo which you describe as the best one you've ever taken at the Parc des Princes. There were 3 men in that photo. Which 3?
It is the greatest photo I've ever taken and ever will take. Eric, Sir Alex and Ollie.
Boom. On pre-season tour in 2018 in LA, you were reunited with which ex-United striker?
Oh, Zlatan.
Yes, time is up, but we're going to carry on because this is fun. For International Women's Day 2020, you brought together the Manchester United women's team and which London musical theatre show?
Mamma Mia.
Yes, you did indeed. Manchester United last won the FA Cup back in 2016. How many times, including that day, have they won it?
Oh, God. 11.
Ooh.
Is it 12?
Yes, that's the one. Who did they play that day, 2016?
Crystal Palace.
And what was the score?
2-1.
Yes, and great memory. And who were you in